Hey, this is Don McGrath, creator of the Stink Steak, and I would like to share with you some things about the sense of smell and why it's different than the other senses that we have, and why it can evoke such emotion so quickly, and therefore have us take action very quickly when we uh, get a scent that's familiar to us. It all begins with odor molecules. So these are molecules of various substances. Like we use non-toxic and all-natural ingredients that have a pungent odor. And so the molecules are in the air. They get inhaled into the nose. Okay, so the nose of the critters, and it's filtered by some of the cilial hair in the nose, but it's brought into the nasal cavity, and there it encounters the olfactory membrane. And so the olfactory membrane has a bunch of really fine nerve cells that are specifically made to detect these odor molecules. And so when they sense those molecules, they fire off electrical signals that then go to the olfactory bulb, which is so the olfactory membrane is in the nasal cavity, while the olfactory bulb is actually in the brain. It's in the front part of the brain. And so what this does is this takes that information into the brain and sends it through neural pathways to the piriform complex, or piriform cortex as it's often referred to. And what this does, this identifies the senses, okay? This identifies the smells. So this is the place that does the work. The piriform complex identifies the smell and its characteristics. And then it sends that information to the amygdala. And the amygdala is part of the limbic system that is connected with emotion. And one thing that other senses, besides the sense of smell, do is they go through a structure called the thalamus. And the thalamus acts as a filter. So it distributes it gets information from the sense of sight, for example, and it filters it and then rationalizes it, and then sends it to other parts of the brain for reactions and activity. But the sense of smell bypasses that and goes right to the limbic system, which elicits emotion very, very quickly. And you've probably experienced this before when you get a scent that you identify as something from your childhood, something from a situation, and it makes you feel an emotional state. And so this is what makes the sense of smell a little bit different than the other senses that we have, and makes it very, very effective in repelling critters. And that's why we came up with the stink steak and the commensurate stink brew, that is the repellent that we use inside of the stink steak, so that when those critters sense these odor molecules, it makes them react to it pretty effectively. Okay, so and it bypasses much of the filters that other senses go through. So it's a very, very effective way. The sense of smell is a very, very effective way to affect the behavior of these critters. And you can get your stink steak at stinksteak.com.